Hey everybody, welcome back to the seed room. We have had a lot of luck so far. Our last video we told you about how we were planting the lettuces, and I'll show you some pictures of those on the screen somewhere, but they came and already are growing. They've already become little seedlings, some of them, so that's great. Makes us feel good, like maybe we're doing something right. Hallelujah. So anyway, today is the day to start the tomatoes. And so I'm going to do a little bit of that for you. We've got 3 varieties of tomatoes to play with. We got a seedless variety. And we also have one that's called the 4th of July. I'm going to just pour my water on here. But one that's called the 4th of July, and it's supposed to be ready by the 4th of July to pick. And it's crazy planting it now. It's not even April for something to be ready on the 4th of July. But anyway, that looks great so far. These are expanding nicely. So anyway, when I went to pick out seeds, which ones we were going to get and all that, I had to look at our climate and pick ones that develop early. So these tomatoes are supposed to be eatable or whatever in a shorter amount of time than some others. So, and hopefully that doesn't change the quality or the taste or anything. We love tomatoes. We love tomato sandwiches, especially. So the hope is that these varieties will be tasty. You know, when you read the definition, they of course say they're tasty, but if I was trying to sell tomato seeds, that's what I'd say too, right? So anyway, we're gonna let that cool down, but we need to start on this side. We only went halfway with our planting. We planted the peppers. So we planted jalapenos, we planted Anaheim and carnival peppers. And the carnival peppers are the multicolored bell peppers. So we've got several rows of those things planting, but they got this back half that we haven't done anything with. And it still feels really moist and happy. So I'm gonna get my little, oh, what is that thing? A palm tree. Oh, let me show you. We also have these little guys. These little tools, I don't know, I'm gonna do like they do on videos, but anyway, this little tool is like a little rake and this little spade looking, shovel looking thing, and this longer pokey shovel looking thing. But anyway, I think we're supposed to use these instead of our palm tree, which is here. So anyway, it might help. So I'm gonna try to see if these new tools do a little better than our palm tree. That palm tree came in a drink I got in, I think, either Cabo or Puerto Vallarta. And oh dear, look, already, look. I wonder where that came from. The U.S.? Maybe. Okay, I just pushed it in there further. Maybe it's better. Anyway, so so when we were in Mexico, we got to travel a good bit inside Mexico, and we went to a couple of their nice, fancy, all-inclusive resorts down there. And one of them was in Cabo, and we went to one in Manzanillo, Mexico, and Puerto Vallarta. I was going to tell you, I think our favorite was, I'm pretty sure, was Puerto Vallarta. They were all fabulous, you know, all inclusive. You got all these restaurants there, but there was something about Puerto Vallarta that made it a little nicer. You could walk down and actually see all the cruise ships, you know, docked there with their people that have, you know, gotten out and doing a day excursion or something. Yeah, that was pretty nice. Cabo was really nice. We went on a tour and we got really lucky. The only folks that went on the tour was us and the tour bus driver. So he spent a lot of time with us, and part of that tour was he took us to a place to eat, have lunch, and so we got to know a lot about the town. He drove us around. He took us to we asked, he said, do you mind if I go off the normal tour? Because, you know, we weren't taking near as long to get through these things because it's just the two of us instead of a whole crowd of people. And we said, no, let's do whatever. And so he took us to this Mexican coffee roaster. And they were in a room maybe as big as a normal size bedroom, not gigantic bedroom, but the whole roaster thing was just in this small house, and it was maybe the size of a bedroom. And so you walked in, and they did have like an entry kind of way, and they had a few of their coffees on display, maybe 20. And then you went through this narrow kind of fabricated kind of step down like plywood, and you were into the roasting room. And the roasting room was this big barrel looking thing. I guess it went around. I'm not real sure. The part we could see was where he was filling the bags with coffee. So they took us, we went from there to this gentleman who's sitting in a small room, maybe the size of a bathroom. And he has like a card table in front of him. And he is sorting coffee beans for quality. And so he is sitting at a card table, and he has like a card table kind of chair. And the card table, the chair, it looks just ancient. And he did too. He was a really old gentleman. And he was sorting those beans by hand, figuring out which was the better coffee beans and like that. And in the corner, he had these huge things of beans that he had to go through. I can't imagine how challenging that job was to just sit there all day long and go through these beans. But we got something there, and we brought back some and gave it to some friends too. But it was a coffee, it was a cinnamon coffee. And we love cinnamon, and we can't find too much of it, cinnamon coffee here. We get our coffee from Montana Coffee Roasters, and but they don't have a cinnamon. They have a lot of nice coffee, and we love it. They even have several Mexico coffees too, which is a little more nostalgic for us. But but cinnamon, that's just something you can't really find. Anyway, we loved that coffee. He took us from there to a place where they make salt, it's a salty place. I actually think the name was Saltillo, but anyway, I could be wrong about that. But there are places in the ocean, evidently, that the salt just accumulates. And so they take and they rake the beach. Somehow they get the salt and they just scrub it up the beach, kind of lay it out so it can sun dry. And there's like tons of salt. And so they just scoop off the top and have salt. And I guess they then grind it or whatever. But so the part we went to was where they had already gotten it off the beach, and they were, kind of deciding what grind it should be and packaging it. And, we're kind of goofy. We don't really know. And so they talked to us in like grams, or I think grams. So how many grams of coffee do you want? Salt do you want? And we were like, I don't know. And so they said, 500 grams or something like that. And we're like, oh, okay. Well, whatever we agreed to, it was a gigantic thing of salt. And rock type salt, not rock, but the big crystals. And so that's a lot of salt. And so we came back and we're like, oh my gosh, we had no idea we purchased this much salt. And so we were trying to give it away. I'm pretty sure I sent some home with my mother. We gave some to friends. But anyway, that was a different experience there at the salt manufacturer, guys. But really cool. Everything they do is by hand. Like the sorting of the coffee beans, the raking of the salt. I mean, all of it is just by hand. Well, this has worked pretty good, this little tool, once we fixed it. Working pretty good. So I'm gonna get our tomato seeds. Here they are. And get started here. We made a little diagram, so we gotta follow our diagram so we can keep up with what is where in these containers. So we're gonna start with the seedless ones. They were the same price as the other ones, except there's 15 seeds in this and 50 seeds in these other ones. So boy, this seedless stuff is high. But anyway, but we wanted to try it. So only being 15 seeds, this should go pretty quickly. And I'm not even sure that's 15. It looks like about 8. Anywho, where's my glasses? Oh, you know you can't do any of this stuff without your glasses, Christy. Hang on. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. That's pretty professional to be just walking off camera. We thought since these were so teeny tiny, we would plant one per pea pod thing, whatever these are. Because at the cost of these, when we planted 2 or 3 in each of these with the other seeds, you do that knowing you're going to get rid of a couple because you only pick the one that is the strongest, most, aggressive growing seed, and you cut the other ones away. So we didn't want to be in a place of cutting any of these back because they're so expensive. So here we go. And that's totally my fault. Had I noticed these only came 15 per pack, maybe I could have, seen it coming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. So 10, and I have like a half a seed here, so that would be 11, and a whole seed here, that would be 12. So much for 15. Yeah, there's not another thing in there. Well, they just got more expensive, didn't they? Okay, so, that's a bummer. All right, so I'm gonna cover those little guys over. I guess maybe I'll use the little rake. Let's see if we can cover them over. We've thought about, if we'd have realized we could do little videos, it would have been great had we done them in Mexico. Mexico was a fabulous experience. It's very inexpensive to live in Mexico, so it was the first time in our lives we ever had a dime, or felt like we did, and so that was kind of nice. If you wanted to go out and eat, you went out and eat, you just didn't give it a thought. But c'est la vie. We left Mexico in 2020. I believe it was 2020. Tim would know. He's fabulous with dates and names of places. He's got one fantastic memory. All right, so we did those tomatoes there. So we're gonna move on to the next little group. But first, I'm gonna write the name on the little tags. You remember, we're trying to keep ourselves organized somewhat. All these little seeds look pretty much the same. So these are the seedless. today is 3/29. Okay. All right, that looks pretty good. You know, the last time I did one of these videos, I told you I should come up with some kind of stories, but I'm just not that organized. Maybe next time I'll have some kind of spiel put together. All right, so the next ones are these 4th of July ones I told you about. So I'm going to plant these 1/4 inch deep. 1/4 of an inch, that's like nothing. There are a few more of these to deal with, so I am going to get out our little white plate. That's been our plan so far. Oh, I should tell you what Tim's up to today. So, we found a grouse in our yard, and he's now baited it with some corn, and he's kind of watching it out there to see if it eats the corn and if he can catch it, or I'm sorry, shoot it, whatever. I imagine that little grouse is in no trouble at all. This hunting thing is pretty new to me anyway. If I was out there, he'd be safe as he could be. But we are trying to be part of this lifestyle, the homesteading lifestyle. So that includes, you know, catching your own game at times. So be pretty interesting if that turns out. We've already looked up if we are able to get him how to cook him, how to prepare him, how to de-skin him or whatever. So Tim has had grouse before years and years ago and said it was wonderful. And everybody we talk to up here says it's wonderful. Better than chicken, wonderful. Because I was like, is it anything like a chicken? They're always so much better. So if that comes to pass and we actually catch our grouse here, we will share that with you too. Should be pretty cool. But we try to embrace the culture there. When we were in Mexico, we went to every festival. We participated in all the cultural kind of events that went on there. Even for Halloween or Day of the Dead there, we got our faces painted and we were in the square. And so we definitely wanted to be a part of that environment. So when we went to Idaho, we did the same. We got guns and we went coyote hunting and we went fishing a bunch. Didn't catch very much, but boy, I love to go fishing. I just like being outside anyway. So we embraced that way of life up there. And so we're doing the same thing here with the gardening, and then with the, you know, maybe catching some of the wild game on our acres here. That would be so cool. All right, let me get back to planting or we're never gonna get anything done. So, here we go. With my finger. So we're back to putting 2 in a cup here, because that makes sense. You pick the better grower or something like that. So we'd love to hear from you guys about if you like our videos or not, or should we look and show you something else that we just don't think to show you from here in Maine. I think we've shown you enough snow for a lifetime. We have certainly had a bunch of snow. Of all the years that we come to Maine, this is the year they said was the coldest and the snowiest, so of late. So yeah, well, look, right? But most of the people say, yeah, gosh, if y'all survive that, the winter we had this year, you'll be fine. So I guess we will be fine. We do like it here. People are so friendly. You know, I told you when we first got here, we just had a little snow blower, and the neighbor that we never met just started blowing our scraping our driveway for us. Really nice guy. We've since met him. Well, we caught him actually doing it, and we were able to run and thank him because we weren't sure who to thank. We didn't know. So anyway, that turned out great, meeting him, and I was able to take him some homemade bread and try to thank him for what he was doing for us. I gotta look at my notes to see how many of these were supposed to fill in, so hang on again. Professional, right? Okay, so don't laugh. Our notes are on a napkin. This is our game plan. It's on a napkin. We sat down last night and tried to figure it all out, what we were gonna do. So I did 2 rows of the seedless and 1, 2, 3 rows, 4 rows of this, I guess. Okay, here we go. We're gonna keep going. You know, get to talking, chit-chatting, and forget. Oh, if that's 50 seeds, I don't think so either. I think I'm getting gypped on these seeds. Anyway, we'll learn. Maybe Burpee isn't the right place to get seeds from. It might be 50 because I'm putting 2 in each hole, so I shouldn't complain. It's probably perfect, and it's my counting that's off. Anywho. So yeah, we'd love to know what you want to see and what we can show you, or if you like our videos at all, or, you know, these ones where I just talk, I'm sure aren't very enjoyable, but so maybe we'll get back to some of the ones where I just do the voiceover. But for right now, that is all the seeds that we have. I just don't think that was 50, but you know what you're gonna do. So I'm gonna take these little pods out because they don't have anything in them. And we will find something to put in those before we bring them back. Okay. All right, so that's looking great. We're gonna write another label. Find my scissors. Here they are. These little label tags that we got at the Dollar Tree, or is it the $1.25 tree? I don't know. But they have been really nice. Tim saw them and picked them up. I didn't even notice them, so they have been really nice. So that's the 4th of July tomato. And today we decided it was $3.29. All right. All right, well, I have 1 more set of tomatoes to plant, but I'll do that off camera. And what I'll do is I'll share with you some pictures of the ones that I've already started growing, our lettuces, and we'll call this video quits for today. Thanks for joining me. Let me know if we can do anything different, or if you're liking what we're doing. All right, talk to you later. God bless you.